Hey guys, welcome to another video from Just Two Dudes. My name's Louie.
My name's Seth.
I'm the dad.
And I'm the son.
Alright, so we want to talk a little bit more about the Idaho game.
Yeah, this is part 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about was just the overall, I know I mentioned it, but I didn't really get into it, is the sloppy play. You know, I didn't really like that at all, and we got off to a slow start. That's something we've done as a whole team, especially defensively, the last couple years. And I think now we start playing football. We only have one cupcake left. You know what I mean? We play Washington at Washington. That's a tough place to play at. They knocked off USC last year. I know Matt Barkley didn't start for USC that game, but that's still a very good team. And I don't want to really get too much into Washington, but you just can't do that from here on out. You have to come out, set the tone, and keep it that way for the whole game.
Well, the thing that pisses me off is the score is 31-3 at halftime.
Yeah.
And the score ends up, what,
38-17.
Yeah, we score one more touchdown. We get outscored in the second half. And it wasn't necessarily a case of we put our backups in.
We just put our backups in from like one drive. And I don't mind. Deontay Evans got burned on a deep ball. I don't mind that. He's a true freshman. I mean, should it happen? No. If you're out on the field, the coaches trust you enough to make that play, obviously. But I can live with that.
I guess what I'm saying is they outscored us 14-7 in the second half, and we had our starters in
for
Idaho. A huge majority of that. And you know, in the first video we touched on it a little bit. You hope it's just the fact that they haven't been challenged yet. They're out there getting bored.
I think they are getting bored because in some detail. Because I heard Bo talk about in the press conference. You know, offensively we get really slow at times. But he said in the press conference that it's the plan not to show a vertical passing game, not to show all their cards, because they didn't want Washington to have any extra preparation for it. Because they don't need any of that stuff to beat Idaho, Western Kentucky, and South Dakota State. And we better not.
I get all that, but I don't understand why in the second half can't turn around and hand the ball off with the weapons we have. You know, Taylor Martinez can't keep the ball 3 times and get a first down. You can't hand it to Roy 3 times and get a first down. 1 touchdown. That's amazing. Our offense outscored their offense by a touchdown.
Yeah,
that can't happen. And once again, when we get a watch and see Bo Pelini and we see his intensity, that's just. It's not matched. It sometimes is on the defensive side of the ball, but it's just not matched by the offense.
Which I think the offense, of course, buys into a little more of Sean Watson. Sean Watson being the offensive guru, Bo being the defensive guru. You know, Sean Watson's very calm, and you know he's not the rah-rah intense guy that Bo is. And maybe the players, since they spend more time with Watson practice, maybe that's kind of how they are, and maybe that's why the defense seems a little more fired up, more intense. Or maybe it's, I don't know what it is, but something needs to change. We can't lose halves to Idaho.
Right.
And we can't lose halves, period.
And once again, it's not like the score was 49-7 at halftime. It was backups in the whole time.
It was.
Another thing that I saw in the Idaho game, it looks like this week they fixed the problem on the offensive line from the last week with the center and the guards not being able to get together. Now it's like the tackles on the outside. When another team blitzes, as I understand it, a tackle's job is to protect the inside
and then the back is supposed to pick up the outside.
Because it's the shortest path to the quarterback.
That's basic generals, but then again, we don't know how the play is designed. We don't know if he's supposed to let that guy go in the back messed up, if it's a tackle. It's all, especially if it's zone blocking schemes, because then you kind of shift the guy down to the next.
What I'm more concerned about is if we go from 1 week and the center and the guards aren't communicating and they're not executing, and then the next game, now it's the guards and the tackles.
Yeah, and I tell you what.
There's a problem there somewhere, but against Idaho, I understand if a guy comes free here and there, but it seemed to happen maybe a little bit more than it should.
Every time they blitzed off the edge, they got to Martinez. Both times, they ended up getting turnovers. Both times they got to him. One, he got hit before he threw it, and that was a fumble. And then the other time he tried to force a ball to McNeil, probably shouldn't have thrown that pass. Hopefully he never does anything like that again. But, I mean,
now see, that play doesn't bother me.
It bothered me a little, but not a lot, because he's a freshman. He's just trying to make a play. And if he throws that ball in there, it's one of those things. It's like a Brett Favre moment.
That's exactly what I thought when I saw it.
You make the, and you know me, Vikings are my team. I watch Brett Favre a lot. He has some that it's like, if it works out, it's a great play. If not, it's like, how dumb are you at times?
Okay, so through 2 games, who do you think offensively has been our best player offensively through the first 2 games?
I'd have to go with Taylor Martinez.
Hands down, Taylor Martinez has brought a whole nother level.
But here's another thing. With the games that Roy and Rex have had, they haven't had as many opportunities. But the reason why I say Taylor Martinez is because if we have a quarterback going like that all year, not just against cupcake teams, but again in the big games, that just makes our whole team better.
The thing about Taylor Martinez, though, is that's a whole nother level of excitement.
Oh yeah.
This guy, if you're watching him, if you're an opposing coach and you're getting ready to play Nebraska and you see the things that this guy can do,
absolutely,
you have to be a little bit afraid.
Absolutely.
That's not Joe Gans, Joe Daly, Zach Taylor, Jamal Lord.
It's more like Eric Crouch. Wow, it's a little more. Time will tell.
Yeah. Defensively.
One thing, can I say something about T-Mart real quick? All this stuff about Denard Robinson that you're hearing, it's very well deserved. And I tell you what, I think Martinez is even a better rusher than Robinson. People might call me crazy for that, but Robinson has so many more carries, and Taylor Martinez is out-averaging him in yards per carry by 5 yards.
I myself,
I mean, that's crazy.
Don't
I know
care.
It's Idaho and Western Kentucky.
You have a quarterback who just played UConn and just played Notre Dame, and I know those 2 schools aren't as good as a lot of people think they are, but that kid just put up 500 yards in 2 games.
I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I'm just saying, all the hype on him, wait till T-Mart starts playing teams like that. And if he can put up those numbers with our defense, that's just going to be special.
Okay. Who do you think's the best player defensively so far in the first 2 games?
Well, the person you don't hear the most about in Prince Amukamara. I think he is our best. When you don't hear a corner's name, that probably is a good thing. And every time that somebody tries to fit a ball into him, he runs it out for the receiver. You know,
if you understand what it means to have one cornerback who can take that side of the field away. Basically what you're doing is you're telling the other team, when you line up, you don't get a throw over here. So what you're saying is your safety, who's responsible for help over here,
doesn't have to
help. He can roam. Maybe that's why J.J. Smith has got 2 interceptions the first 2 games.
Very well could be.
You know, that guy, if he can be a lockdown corner and shut down one side of the field,
I think he's our best player, but the most impressive player I've seen, I think you might agree, is Levante David. The things he's doing on the field with his speed and his instincts are very special.
It's been pretty surprising watching Levante David. Best player, I agree, is Prince. The most surprising is Levante David. And that D-line, to me, is still performing pretty well.
They are. We'll find out just how good they are this week.
So that's it for our thoughts on the Idaho game. And you guys got to leave us some comments. Anything that you want us to talk about. Maybe some points you think we're missing. Maybe some things you disagree with, or some things you agree with.
Maybe just some things we missed that you'd like to be. That you'd like to say.
Yeah, and we'd be happy to include some of those thoughts in a future video or something like that. All right, that's it for this one. Take care.
See you guys.